Hello, everyone. This is Jasper, and welcome back to another episode of the Newton Public Schools Alumni Association podcast. And today we are joined by another guest. Today we are joined by Oliver. So, Oliver, will you mind giving us a quick introduction of yourself, when you graduated South, and what you're doing now?
Sure, yeah. It's very nice to meet you guys. I'm Oliver. I graduated in 2020 from Newton South, so that was the COVID year. Graduated in 2020. Obviously, with the COVID, everything happened. Figured out college. Graduated from UMass Amherst with a degree in public health in 2024. And I'm currently hopefully going to get a position at Mass General as a clinical research coordinator. And I'm also studying for my MCAT right now, which I'm taking in 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Well, good luck on the MCAT. That will be in 4 weeks. So, I assume that it's safe to say you want to be a physician when you grow up?
That is
All right.
correct.
Nice, nice. That's amazing. So, I guess Newton South does offer some courses that maybe are related to being a physician. So, do you figure out your direction as going into medicine when, you were in high school, or did it happen more in college?
Um, I took a couple courses at Newton South. There was anatomy and physiology. I think there was a course called neuroscience that I took senior year.
Oh, okay.
I had always had an interest for science and medicine in high school, but I didn't know how to focus it. But I would say the desire to become a physician stemmed more once I actually entered undergrad.
Ah, amazing, I see. So, out of all the courses that you took at South, do you think there's like one that maybe had a long-lasting impression on you, or a teacher who had an impression? It doesn't necessarily have to be related to what you're doing now.
Sure. A teacher that had a long lasting impression was Miss Martyr. I had her for junior year honors English, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And she's known as one of the more tough teachers to have, and a lot of students don't like her. But I contribute a lot of my ability to write in college to her teaching in high school.
Oh wow. Okay. So an unconventional connection, I guess, between STEM and I guess an English
Yeah,
course, but
I
one
would
that
say
is
so.
amazing.
Yeah. hmm
I see. So I know a lot of students in Newton South maybe also want to, get on the pre-med track or the pre-dental track or something related to medicine. So since you've gone through the Newton South system before and maybe have more familiarity with the courses there than some students who are maybe new to South, is there any special advice that you could give them that's maybe specific to South or maybe in general for, how they can get started on medicine in high school?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Newton South, at least when I was there, 5 years ago, all the teachers really care about the student well-being, student health, learning, and they value their relationship with the student, and they all want all their students to do well. So I think asking questions and learning with teachers is a huge thing, especially in high school when people are uncomfortable and don't want to ask questions. So I would say definitely, lean on your teachers and ask them for advice. They've gone through a lot more than you have.
I see.
And as well as for pre-med and just medicine, I think if you have a passion for it, you should just do it. I think that a lot of people are are scared by the idea of medicine and scared by the long path that it is, which by no means is that not true. It's a very long path. It's a very, very tough
Right.
and challenging path. But if you have a passion for it and it's something that you think you're interested in, there's no harm in, taking classes and even in high school or in undergrad and seeing if this is something that you enjoy and really experiencing what it's like and making your decision after that.
I see. So it's kind of just like if you really love medicine, kind of just go for it. It's a long path,
I
but you gotta get
I
started.
absolutely. I think that if you're trying to pursue medicine, it has to be a love for you. You can't just kind of want to do it. It can't be something you're pushed
I
into
see.
or something that, you're not super interested in because it requires you to push yourself to the absolute limit in every aspect of your life so that you can obtain the goal of becoming a physician or just working in medicine.
Wow, that seems rather daunting. Medicine kind of seems like a very, very long and perilous journey as
It is,
it's
it
being
is, it is
portrayed.
long and it is daunting, but it's also very manageable. I think every single person
Okay.
is able to do it. There's not a single person I believe that can't do it. I think if you're interested in it and it's something you want to
Okay.
do, every single person is more than capable of doing it.
Okay, you say that medicine is manageable, so I guess after high school and college, I'm sure the bulk of the progress that you made towards your career is going to be in college. So, are there any things that you did in college that maybe you feel have contributed a lot more to your endeavors in medicine, or anything you've done in college that had a large impact on you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got my EMT certification. I did research. I talked to people. I met people. I shadowed. Pretty much everything that pre-meds do. I did, and it gives you a really broad understanding of what medicine is from a pre-med basis, without obviously understanding the intricacies of it. And so I think that just experiencing as much as you can and putting yourself in situations that you would typically be uncomfortable doing so is the best way to learn.
I see. Okay. So I guess the pre-med, I guess, experience in college kind of revolves around that. And I know there's a lot of people online who maybe talk about, or you can do research on what pre-med looks like in college. But having gone through the experience as a lived experience yourself, what do you think maybe is something that, I as a high schooler might be able to research online, but I probably won't be able to get the true feel of what it means to be a pre-med student maybe when I actually get into college?
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking up what clinical experience sounds like, or I think shadowing can exist from high school to college to post grad. I think shadowing is a wonderful experience that you can do at every part of your pre med career. And it gives you somewhat of an insight to what it's like on a day to day basis. And it's not just, oh, I'm only watching the surgery. It'll be like, oh, well, there's paperwork involved, there's administrative stuff involved, there's clinical stuff involved, there's everything, there's patient interaction. So I think for you or someone that's interested in, just reach out to physicians, ask to shadow many physicians, especially in Boston, because this is such a hub for medicine in the country. A
Oh,
lot of
okay.
physicians love to see students interested and love to have them shadow for a day and learn and just walk around and see what it's like. So I think, not again, same kind of idea, not being afraid to reach out and not being afraid to just see what there is.
I see. Okay. Shadowing sounds really interesting. It's kind of like you're kind of just quasi following them and seeing what it's like.
You are quite literally a fly on the wall. They'll walk in, they
Oh
say, "Hey, I
wow.
have a student shadowing me today. Is that okay?" Patient says yes, and you walk in, and you basically, what I did was I would just sit in the corner and listen.
Oh wow.
And then
Okay.
after you're leaving with the patient, sometimes the doctor will say, "Did you understand any of that? Do you have any questions? Is there anything you found interesting? Anything you want to learn more about regarding that?" And you can have a conversation with them as you go from patient to patient.
Oh, that's amazing. I heard about shadowing before, but one other thing that I also kind of heard about from a lot of high school students are applying for internships, like summer internships. So, is there kind of like a difference between the two and what they provide for you?
Yeah. So shadowing is going to be a very, um, what to say? It's going to scratch the surface of what it's really like, because you're not going super in depth with anything. Um, but actually joining an internship, working, whether it's a summer is what, you 3 months, is that right?
Approximately, yeah.
So roughly 3 months, you can actually understand what it's like from a working based side of it, not just an observation side of it. So I think it's a wonderful thing to do. And again, Boston Children's, Mass Gen, Beth Israel, Dana Farber, they all have programs for high schoolers and for undergraduate currently enrolled students that can attend for the summers and learn in a more controlled and in-depth environment.
I see. Okay. So, sounds like a lot of work where you got your studies that you have to grind for, and you have your internships you got to apply for, and all the shadowing work. And kind of seems like a lot of work. And a lot of us high schoolers are always going to be like, wow, high school seems so easy because, we've just got courses that we do and then everything's scheduled for us. But in college, it's kind of like you have your own time and you manage it. So, do you have like any like pieces of advice that you feel were really helpful, or not just something I guess like you can find online that you think could have had a huge help to how you schedule your time in college between all these things as a pre-med student?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I do think that a lot of Newton South, Newton South feeds into a lot of top schools. And so I think a lot of Newton South students actually go into college very prepped or the rigor of undergrad, because it is very different than undergrad. I mean, yeah, sorry, high school is very different than undergrad in the
Right.
sense of you don't have anyone saying you need to turn in this assignment now, or here's this. Everything is self done. So you have to set your own basis. You have to set your own
Hmm.
timeline. You have to do this and this and this. And so I think learning, I think a lot of students are very scared and they're also worried to fail in the first year, but fail is natural. Everyone fails, everyone doesn't do well. And it's okay if it takes you the first semester or the first year to really get your grounds and to understand what you need to do to succeed in college. And I think, frankly, you shouldn't go in with like all these ideas on what I need to do to schedule my time and I need to be strict and I need to do this. You should enjoy your life as an
Okay.
adult. You're
I
you're
see.
finally
Okay.
by yourself. You're gonna. It's the best time for you to learn about yourself, what you need to do for yourself, what works, what doesn't work. And so I think not going in with such a serious mindset that like this is everything. Like if I don't do well, nothing's gonna work out for me. I think just go in, you learn what it's like, you learn what works, because what works for me might not work for you. What works for you might not work for someone else. So not having a super, I need to be super strict on everything I do, and learning as you go is the best way to do it.
I see. So it's kind of like a don't be afraid of failure, and the progress will be the
100%.
one that teaches you.
Failure is inevitable. Everyone's going to fail. No one doesn't fail. It's just not possible. Every single person, the most successful people failed more times than they succeeded.
I see. Okay. So we kind of talked about you know, being able to schedule your time and letting time teach you instead of, trying to force things onto yourself. So I guess
Yeah.
moving forward, since, compared to us measly high schoolers, you have a lot more life experience or wisdom compared to us since, you've gone through the entire undergrad college experience. So what is maybe one thing that people should take away from this conversation, even if they don't intend to go into pre-med? What kind of value or mindset should they have in life that you think can take them not only through undergrad but also just later on in life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just exactly what we were talking about. I think you should accept that failure is inevitable. You're going to
Right.
fail, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, no matter what you do. Pre med, law, engineering, art, history, like no matter what you do, you're going to fail. It's just how it works, it's just how the world works. And you have
Yeah.
to learn to accept that. And rather than let it kind of beat you down and let it dissuade you from doing something you're passionate about, learn from the mistakes, which I know everyone here, I remember I heard it hundreds of times when I was in high school as well. Learn from your mistakes. It's okay, but it really is okay. Like
I
everything will
see.
work out as
Yeah.
long as you put your best foot forward every single time and not get knocked off path because, you've failed a test or you didn't get an internship or you didn't get a job or whatever it may be.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that life advice, Oliver. I hope everyone listening has had something to take away from them coming from Oliver. And thank you so much today for joining us, Oliver. This is Jasper. And to everyone else, thank you very much for listening. And I will see you all next time.